certainly the best.
Still topping the front burner, sadly, and a whole lot of other conversation that we will be dealing with this morning on TMI. Good morning once more. I have my colleague right here with me in the studio, Harry Maguire. Good morning, Harry. How are you?
Harry Maguire.
Oh, Harry.
Anyways, good morning, Ando. It's good to see you. Good morning, Benin City. Good morning, Nigeria. We're back here doing what we love to do best.
Interestingly, how we just forgot that it's a holiday today. So happy holiday. And of course, Eid Mubarak to all Muslim faithful.
Yes, to all our Muslim brothers and sisters, a happy Eid Mubarak to you. And this is hoping that you guys make the very best of the season. And all the goodies that the season has to offer, we pray that they will be your portion.
Now, speaking about goodies, I'm expecting meat, salad meat. I'm expecting, what else happens?
From your Muslim friends, huh?
Of course, like musa and mama perhaps. But anyway, let's bring it.
Mama knows we have some serious stuff to talk about in that regard.
Tell me about it. Who doesn't love the holiday period? But let's talk about serious issues now. I'm pretty sure you've been following what has been going on right there in London, in the UK precisely. Yesterday, I saw a clip where King Charles III was saying that Nigeria doesn't carry last, and he spoke pidgin, and that got a lot of Nigerians reacting to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually fascinating seeing non-Nigerians, right, speak the pidgin English, but, you know, someone as, you know, should I say, highly placed as King Charles speaking pidgin English is a flex. It's a big deal to us, and of course, it goes to show how culturally influential Nigeria is, especially on the global stage. You know, a lot of people want to, you know, identify with Nigerians, not just because of how culturally influential we are, but for the very fact that a lot of Nigerians are doing amazing things abroad. So who wouldn't want to identify with Nigerians?
Absolutely. That's going to shape our conversation this morning. But away from there, let's also highlight a pressing issue. On Monday precisely, the news was out there on the traditional media and also on social media with the bomb blast that happened. After that event did occur, that sadly dastardly event occurred, President Bola Tinubu ordered the service chiefs to relocate down to Borno State to ensure that normalcy is restored and the security situation is tackled. Already we're getting feelers that persons involved are based there in Borno State and do have connection with the Boko Haram members. But to let you know, the Nigeria service chiefs are currently in Borno State days after, just a day after the president did order them. Now the question surrounding this is this going to make a lasting impact to insecurity in Nigeria? What difference really is it going to make? How long, too long, are we going to continue having the conversation as regards insecurity? Because a lot of persons are tired. I am tired, Harry.
Well, from time immemorial, I think one of the issues we've always had is this reactionary approach to issues. Okay, now, of course, certain issues are, you know, inevitable. None of us can tell the future. So certain circumstances cannot be controlled. And one of such circumstances is insecurity. But my question is, why do we always wait for certain things to happen before we swing into action? Borno has been a theater of insecurity for years now, years on end. Terrorists, bandits and co have been going there to unleash mayhem on the people. And one would have thought that by now the security apparatus would have been intensified, would have been beefed up to ensure that these attacks are mitigated. But it's unfortunate that we still wait for the worst to happen before doing the needful. And beyond that, for whether it will make any difference, well, we can only hope. We can only be optimistic, because the much we can do, we really can't help but hope that something good comes out of this one. And we pray that it doesn't get to a point where people begin to live in their large numbers, where Borno totally becomes a desert. We pray it doesn't get to that point.
Well, we can only pray. It seems that's all we have right now, right here in Nigeria. Let's go over to Lagos, where Mercy Lena is on. Good morning, Mercy. Happy holiday to you.
Good morning, Anu. Good morning, Harry. Happy holiday to you too. Trust you're good. Okay, about the UK, and a lot of persons were saying, despite what happened in Maiduguri, the president still traveled. I mean, that was before the president ordered service chiefs to Maiduguri. I mean, some opposition party, they were talking, saying at this point that Nigeria needs to. I mean, in all of what has been happening in terms of insecurity and all of that, you traveled. I mean, this meeting has been scheduled, and we all know that it is for of the country. And we had a guest yesterday that helped us about that. We saw that the president has ordered the ministers, to step down. Those ministers that are in 2027 that are thinking of getting a position or contesting for a position in 2027. The president gave them till March, from now till March 31st, to resign. And we would be having a political analyst that would help us talk basically on that today. So that is what we would be talking about from Lagos this morning on this table.
Absolutely. I'm sure we're looking forward to this conversation, because interestingly, it's an ongoing one, especially as we move over to the 2027 general election. But Mercy, would you also want to talk about what is going on right now in Borno State with the service chiefs being there? Do you think it's going to be different at all with insecurity right here in Nigeria?
What Nigerians have been praying for is a lasting solution. Will this help? We don't know yet, but the fact that, the presidents make a swift responded to the situation on time, it might help. This is not the first time it's happening in the north. I mean, in other states, other parts of Nigeria, insecurity has been a major problem, and like I said earlier, what we want is a lasting solution. This might help. We pray it helps. We don't know yet, but for the fact that the president responded quickly and swiftly, I would say it's a progress, and we're hoping and waiting to see what happens next, if it will help curb insecurity. That has been our major problem, insecurity. Wake up one morning to hear kidnapping, banditry and all of that, and the bombing and all of that. And we hope it helps, and we hope it helps reduce insecurity. And like I said, what we want is a lasting solution. And we pray this, that the president made in sending the service chief down to Borno would help curb insecurity, not just in Borno State. I mean, in other states, insecurity is a major problem. And what the people want, what we Nigeria want, is a lasting solution. So we hope it helps.
At this point, we can only help, because that is what we have. Now, back here in the studio, Harry, one of the major Middle East crisis that has been on. This is the third week already, and we are still having this conversation. What is going on? We've seen how it has affected fuel, gas prices, energy prices, and we're also seeing a shift as regards food in Nigeria and also globally. But we're going to be tilting down our attention down here in Nigeria. Food prices has skyrocketed again in Nigeria. What do you make out of this? 6 months after, according to a particular national dailies, during the course of this week, they did say that 6 months after we had a drop in food prices, inflation is on again.
Well, it is often said that the world is a global village. So whatever happens to one part of the world, finds its way to other parts of the world. So I guess that's basically what we're experiencing. The Middle East crisis is something that is telling on every region of the world. Nigeria is not an exception. Okay, and if you go out there, you'll see that even our drivers, bus drivers, commercial drivers are not finding it funny. Some of them are struggling with the hike in the price of petrol. And you know what happens every time the price of petrol goes up. It's naturally, tells on the food prices and every other thing. So I think it's just a natural thing. It's what happens, when there is conflict, especially a conflict of this nature. America is a major power, and so is Israel. So whenever there is a conflict of this nature, it will naturally affect other countries. Just like they say, when two elephants fight, the grasses suffer. So that's
who are the grasses right now?
Well, I guess it's safe to say so.
But coming down here in Nigeria, we are so blessed with food, with agriculture, with natural resources, basically. Do you think we should be feeling the impact the way we are currently, or is just a case of systematic failure in government failure?
Well, idealistically speaking, of course we shouldn't be feeling it because, just like you said, we are self-sufficient. We should be self-sufficient because we are endowed as a country. Just like I said on flip side yesterday, a country as blessed as Nigeria cannot afford to, be living at the mercies of the foreign donors and all of that. But it's unfortunate that a whole lot of things are not the way they ought to be. I think it's a case of failure of leadership. Because if things are in their right perspective, then Nigerians wouldn't be suffering. I don't think there's any endowment that Nigeria has not been given. God has so blessed Nigeria to the point where our neighboring countries should be depending on us for survival, if anything. But unfortunately, it seems like we are literally at the mercies of these foreign bodies and foreign countries.
And it shouldn't be. When you said endowment, it actually did ring a bell, but we'll take a short break right now. When we return, we'll move over to look at a couple of national dailies this morning.
This is Aqua Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, you're on to This Morning on ITV. Now let's look at a couple of national dailies this morning as we begin with the Vanguard newspaper and the major headline. Interestingly, on insecurity, it says how Nigeria spent 32.8 trillion naira on defense in 15 years. Subwriter says defense gulps $44.641 billion of 262.834 trillion naira budget. Nigeria records over 100,000 violent deaths since 2012. National Assembly probes defense spending. CDS seeks stronger police, civil defense collaboration. Senate reps targets March 31st passage of 58.47 trillion naira 2026 budget. All of this on page 5. Eid al-Fitr, Sultan declares Friday as Shawwal 1, urges prayers on page 25. Maiduguri bombings, military chiefs arrives Borno after Tinubu's directive on page 9. Well, still on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Why Al-Majiri are infiltrating Abuja? You want to find out? Do well to pick up a copy of the Vanguard newspaper. That's all. Harry?
All right, let's take our attention and fix it on Daily Sun this morning. And the major headline on the Daily Sun says, ACF gives damning verdict on insecurity. And the writer there says Nigeria failing, sliding into anarchy. And still on that one, troops foil terrorist attack, kill over 60, destroy strongholds in Borno. And that sounds like progress. Just like we were trying to figure out if their intervention in Borno was going to help in any way. So yeah, troops foil terrorist attack, kill over 60, and destroy strongholds in Borno. Okay, still on the Daily Sun, right above the masthead, Benue, Akume loyalist meet plot to wrest power from Governor Alia. And that's on the political side of things. Benue, Akume loyalist meets plot to wrest power from Governor Alia. And right above that, ex-Abia civil servants in pains, over 13 months on paid pension. Ex-Abia civil servants in pains, over 13 months on paid pension. And the writer to that says, plead with Governor Oti to pay them. We actually hope that Governor Oti listens to their plea. And then under that, PDP crisis, National Convention not negotiable. And that's credited to the Caretaker Committee. PDP crisis, National Convention not negotiable. Caretaker Committee. And then under that one, party begins sale of forms March 23rd. And that you will find on page 26. Now right after that, gunmen kidnap 4 cocoa farmers in Ibadan, or your state. You'll find that on page 4. And then Eid al-Fitr, Kano government alleges destabilization plot during Salah celebrations. And that's on page 26. And finally, on the Daily Sun this morning, State Police, your concerns will be addressed. Barau assures Nigerians. State Police, your concerns will be addressed. Barau assures Nigerians. And that's all on the Daily Sun newspaper this morning.
Right. The Daily Independent is leading with Maiduguri bombings as it says AU seeks global action against terrorism in Nigeria. Subwriter says as troops kill over 80 terrorists in Borno, CDS to Borno Yobe take ownership of terror fight. Federal government investing in equipment to tackle terrorists. Who was speaking? The Vice President Kashim Shettima. All of this on page 29. Serap asks King Charles to address rights violation during Tinubu's UK visit on page 7. Labour Party fixes May 23rd for 2027 presidential primaries. Sanusi to lead Kanu Salah Duba as government tightens security on page 6. Away from that, other major headlines this morning. Long-acting breakthrough HIV injectables arrive in Nigeria. Quite an interesting one. ADC demands action for El Rufai after 30 days in detention. Well, still on the front page of Daily Independent, gunmen invade institute, abduct 4 farmers in Ibadan. And finally, 5G, Nigerians' excitement drops as network deployment drags. And also, on page 6 of the Daily Independent this morning, Oluremi Tinubu to deliver sermon at Lambeth Palace today on page 16. That's going to happen in the UK, and we're also aware that our president would be meeting with the UK Prime Minister today. Away from the Daily Independent newspaper, let's turn our attention now over to the Daily Trust newspaper. And on the front page of the Daily Trust, Harry?
Okay, on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, the screamer here says, man loses 4 sons to Maiduguri explosions. And that's on a rather tragic note. Man loses 4 sons to Maiduguri explosions. Now that actually underscores the need for an urgent intervention, as we are saying in Maiduguri at the moment. And of course, right under that, Iran war, crude oil price inches to $110 billion. That's
Per
a whole
barrel.
lot. Seriously. Now you understand.
Don't you think perhaps fuel is going to be sold for 3,000 naira per liter? But what is going on?
Well,
Or let's say 2,000 maybe.
at this rate, I don't think it will be out of place to dismiss that, because with all of these, that's why I think that pretty much explains why the hardship seems to be intensifying in Nigeria, because you see, oil is a big deal.
Of course.
In fact, the price of oil determines a whole lot of things across board. So if the prices of oil keep going up, then it's only a matter of time before every other thing is affected. All right, so that's that on that. Iran war, crude oil price inches to $110 billion. And then abductors of FCT communities members send account details for ransom. Abductors of FCT communities members send account details for ransom. Isn't it funny?
Account details?
Account details for ransom.
And if someone would wonder why it's still difficult to trace these bad guys and flush them out, because
Tells you,
once you have your account details, you have connection to everything. You have the
else.
BVN, right?
It just shows you that there's more to this than meets the eye. You understand? Because it's one of the reasons we keep saying that, it seems like the government of the day does not have the willpower, to do the needful. It's not because they can't. It's not because we do not have, the necessary weapon or instruments to do the needful. But the willpower isn't there. And that says a whole lot about our government. And then right under that, why Bala Mohammed foot drags on defection, and that's still on the political side of things. Why Bala Mohammed foot drags on defection? Why is he dragging his feet? Okay, and then right above the masthead on the Daily Trust newspaper, how new BVN rules will curb fraudulent transactions.
Okay, we're just talking about it now.
Exactly.
Especially with the insecurity situation. Let's see if it's going to even give us that change
Let's
we
hope.
want.
And then still above the masthead, Sultan declares Friday Eid al-Fitr. It's official. Sultan declares Friday Eid al-Fitr. And then finally on the Daily Trust newspaper, Kano government clears Emir Sanusi for Salah Doba. And that's on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. That's about it on that.
The Guardian newspaper is up next, leading with another dimension this time around, as it says, AU rallies support against terrorism as CDS decries enemies within on page 6. Well, let's quickly talk about the picture we are currently seeing on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, with one went on yesterday right there in the UK at Windsor Castle. We have the picture of our president looking all smiley right there with his wife, Oluremi Tinubu, and also King Charles III and Queen Camilla. One thing a lot of Nigerians are actually also talking about is the fact that we didn't get to see him put on his suit this time around. He went all traditional, representing the culture. Are we expecting him rather on the suit?
Well, after what happened with the suit the last time, I wasn't expecting that, because
Really?
I know Nigerians are savage people.
Of
We
course.
know the caricature that was made by Nigerians, concerning the way he rocked that suit. The suit was a good one.
The
Perfectly.
suit was actually dapper.
Exactly.
And then the fact that he was not on his usual batified cap and he was just there bare.
No, that's what happens when people are used to seeing you in a certain kind of way, and then all of a sudden you are giving them a different picture entirely.
So you're saying the suit is the major cause of why he did fall?
Yeah, Nigerians are not used to seeing him in a suit, especially a suit of that nature. So yeah, I wasn't surprised when I saw that. So I'm not also surprised seeing him, you know, in his traditional attire this time, because I mean, nobody would want history to repeat itself.
You're not serious, really. But away from that, let's go over to another major headline that says Tinubu, King Charles holds interfaith dialogue, deepen ties. And we also did hear that Oluremi Tinubu, the First Lady of Nigeria, will be having a sermon today in that event. Ministry's operations books open for probe, says Dave Umahi on page 7. Ramadan ends today as Saudi Arabia Sultan declares Friday Eid al-Fitr. Other interesting headlines this morning. Federal government transform correctional centers into food production hubs on page 20. Lagos, 6 commissioners set to resign for 2027 elections on page 5. Africa's public debt near $1.2 trillion amid refinance burden fiscal shocks. Well, that's all we have on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Do well to pick up a copy of any of the national dailies to stay abreast with the conversation that is making wave right now globally and also here in Nigeria. Well, to let you know that we'll be moving over to our major conversation this morning as we get to kickstart with war on Iran, soaring prices of fuel, and the Nigerian situation. We'll have our guests join live from Canada, and also we'll talk about what is going on right now with King Charles III and Queen Camilla hosting President Bola Tinubu and his wife. What impact really does this have on the Nigerian citizen? We'll also turn our attention to look at what NLC did say a couple of days ago, demanding a 154,000 naira minimum wage and also requesting for wage allowance or cost of living allowance, if that would even see the light of the day. All of this and more right after this break.
TV, certainly the best.
Omonoba Nedu Ukwakolopolo, Ewai II, Oba of Benin, stepped out majestically with loud crowd to perform the Sultan rites of his late mother, Queen Mother Ioba Omoni Ikoyeme, Ioba Ewai II, who departed this world 49 years ago. Isoton is a traditional rite of the procession in memory of the departed person's spirit in Benin Kingdom. It is usually heralded by public display of the departed person's influence during their sojourn on earth. The display of a human effigy symbolizing the departed royal matriarch was preceded by the Oba of Benin, who led the procession from his palace to the Immortan Shrine at King Square in Benin City, where he offered prayers for the repose of the soul of the Queen Mother, Ioba Ewai II. Thereafter, a priest assigned to the Immortan Shrine offered Oba Ewai II items for Isoton on behalf of his family. However, chalk, known as Uri, represented a mixture from royal fans after ancestral spirits were invoked to bear witness and announce his arrival. On his way home, Oba Ewai paid tributes at various pilgrimage sites, including Queen Idia Tomb, beside Oba Market, where a cheerful crowd of traders abandoned their wares to catch a glimpse of the royal personage and join in the celebration.
ITV, certainly the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we are seeing on the stage is the Goro Cultural Princess Event. On the other side, we have the Gymnastic Boys. Gymnastic Boys, you don't know what we want to do now. We are reading upstairs. We are at the first floor. We don't know what we are going to do in the second floor. Always.
ITV, certainly the best.
In the evening of the initiation day, all the newly initiated
Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, President Bola Tinubu was on Wednesday given a ceremonial welcome at Windsor Castle as a Nigerian leader began his state visit to the United Kingdom. The president and his wife, Remi Tinubu, were treated to a 42-gun salute by the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery. Before that, Prince William and Princess Catherine met and greeted the Nigerian leader and his wife. Now, today, President Bola Tinubu is expected to meet British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, as well as members of the Nigerian community abroad, according to the official schedule. We turn our attention over to King Charles III host, Tinubu, and First Lady of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, impact on Nigerians in the diaspora and also back here at home. Well, joining us virtually from London, we have Prince Egba. Good morning, Prince Will. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome.
Good morning.
Right, can you help us make sense of what you have been observing so far right there at Windsor Castle?
Well, it's been an amazing state visit by Tinubu in London. The visit actually it's been seen as one of the most significant state visit over the last 37 years, Hello?
Go ahead, Prince Will, we can hear you. So what do you feel makes it significant and different from the other visits we've been seeing our president going for abroad? Please go ahead.
Well. This signifies signifies or is seen as historical state visit by Tinubu to the United Kingdom, which is quite different from other visit. As you can see, the ceremonies that was involved in this, the preparation. Basically, such visits, they are not normal. They are not a regular visit that any president comes to the United Kingdom that is being given to. We can see that such visit can be also seen like the likes of the president of France, Macron, which was also giving almost the same kind of visit, and that of also Donald Trump, who, just within a space of 9 months. So in this kind of visit, it's re-echo the existing relationship that the UK government has had with the Nigerian government. And most importantly, is to renew that existing relationship that has always been there. But maybe this time around, it has to be, looking at more economical partnership other than just being historical.
We actually hope that this pans well and impacts positively on Nigerians both home and abroad. But does this have anything to do with the fact that Nigeria is a member of the Commonwealth? What positive impacts do you think it could have on us back home?
This kind of visit, you're looking at both direct investment, which is FDI to Nigeria, creation of jobs, attracting investors to Nigeria as well. Okay. MOUs are going to be signed. I'm sure the Tinubu will be meeting with Keir Starmer this morning, or maybe later today. So it's not just significant in the sense that he came just to see the king. What is important in this visit is looking at the bilateral agreements in terms of security cooperations, which, I mean, we all know what has been going on in Nigeria. in terms of the insecurity that is even globally um, uh, aware of what is going on. So we're going to be seeing a lot of MOUs in terms of investment, in terms of security, education, and so many of them. So to people back home, like in Nigeria, I think we should be expecting more job creation if if the economy is stable to to go on with it. Yeah.
Now, Prince Will, in terms of the relationship between the UK and Nigeria, also considering Nigeria's stance and position in Africa, who do you think is going to benefit more from this relationship or has been benefiting more? Is it Nigeria or the UK benefiting more compared to Nigeria?
I think both parties are going to be benefiting. It all depends on one. What Nigeria is trying to do is to attract investors to Nigeria. That's what the government is trying to do. But at the same time, you can you know statistically that we have about 300,000 Nigerians who live in the UK. So people who are also in the UK are going to benefit in terms of um, the policies, in terms of um, you know the remittance, the transaction remittance in transaction that businesses, both small and medium businesses. So the benefit cut across both ways. While the UK is also looking at the large population of Nigeria, which is actually a good market strategy. In turns, even the Nigeria government will be benefiting in terms of the investors that will be moving to Nigeria, most likely to, in different kind of business that they want to do. So the benefits is just in both ways, not just Nigeria or in the UK.
All right. It's good to know that it's a symbiotic relationship. But, back home in Nigeria, a lot of persons have been raising eyebrows with regards to the president's incessant, travels and visits to foreign countries. Now, what's your take on that? Some persons are saying that it's really not impacting much on the life of the average Nigerian. Do you share that sentiment?
The diplomatic visits are essential. Creating relationship with international community is good. One might see it as, oh, it's quite insensitive because of the critical time that the Nigeria is, that is currently facing. But the reality is, there has to be a relationship with the international community. So it might be seen as insensitive, but at the same time, I'm not just going to view it as some kind of ceremony that the president came to do in London. But then again, we need to build international relationship with other countries, and this is what even if you look at even in the UK, of recent, the Kestama visited Japan. He has gone to India. So countries move around creating meaningful partnerships. So though it's coming at a time where um, you know where a lot is going on in Nigeria, but diplomatic partnership, is really important for the growth of Nigeria.
Now, this visit is coming on the heels of the security situation concerns in Nigeria. With the recent one that happened in Borno State, Maiduguri, the state capital, with a lot of persons, a lot of critics and criticism stemming up from it and saying the president shouldn't have made the move, despite public knowledge of the meeting being on for a couple of months and weeks. Now, what do you make out of this criticism?
I understand that we need to prioritize our domestic security, but at the same time, we also need to, at the state of what Nigeria looks like, we also need to look for meaningful partnership, in the international community, and we also need support of the international community to, you know, to help and support what is going on in Nigeria. It does seem over the years that we can't really do a lot of things by ourselves. So and for the fact that the international community is aware of the current situation of Nigeria, I think this visit, is a bit important. It might just be coming at the, but I mean, if you look at history, uh, even in the midst of crisis, the president always jet out for one um, event or the other. So I don't see what is the difference of what he's doing now. As long as his visit to the UK would yield positive results in the lives of Nigeria.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Prince Will. I'm sure a lot of Nigerians are looking forward to the aftermath of this state visit, and that's where we'll be turning our attention over to right after this break. Thank you so much for staying with us. We're just joining you onto this morning on ITV, and the conversation currently on the front burner is President Tinubu's visit to the UK and also the First Lady of Nigeria, impact on Nigerians and also the economy. We still have our guests joining live right there in London, Prince Will Egba, a media consultant. So as we get to leave the conversation here, what should we Nigerians be expecting from this visit moving forward?
You know, I think what Nigeria should be expecting, most importantly, is job creation, which is one of the challenges that the average Nigerian has been facing over decades. Creation of jobs. We hope that this visit will, bridge that gap of job creation through the investment attraction to the country. What Nigeria needs is just the FDI. We need just foreign direct investment in the country to attract job creation for Nigeria. If you look at the issue of security, we also hope that this visit will reflect the security challenges that we are also facing in back home. Seeking the support of the UK in whatever means possible to to support the insecurity challenges that Nigeria is currently facing.
Absolutely, and we're looking forward to everything, every juicy part of the visit, the state visit right there to the UK. Thank you so much, Egba Prince Will, a media consultant right there in London. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, well, there's still more to come as we turn our attention over to the living conditions right here in Nigeria, with labor unions demanding for a 154,000 naira minimum wage, if that would even work and see the light of the day. We'll find out after this break.
Ẹgbẹ̀júwà ọba àtọ́pẹ́. Ẹgbẹ̀júwà ọba àtọ́pẹ́. Ẹgbẹ̀júwà ọba àtọ́pẹ́ yìí.
Well, you're still on to This Morning on ITV right here in Benin studio. We are turning our attention now to look at the cost of living in Nigeria, the state of a Nigerian citizen, with labor union, that's the NLC, coming out to clamor and make a demand for the 154,000 naira minimum wage. As regards what is going on right now with cost of living, inflation, high price of fuel, with what is going on in the Middle East having a ripple effect right here down in Nigeria. Would this see the light of the day? Are you in support of this, or you feel it's just the labor union coming out to beat drums and make noise and do nothing about it? Our guest joins live from Delta State, Comrade Kelvin Ujumijo, the SSA to the Delta State Governor on Human Rights, joins live this morning. Good morning and welcome on board, Comrade.
Good morning, thank you for having me. Good morning, viewers.
So, give us a make sense overview of what is going on right now in Nigeria. What have you been observing so far? How has the common Nigerian been, going through and just living basically in Nigeria with the living conditions?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we've never had it this bad as a country. The hunger keeps fighting harder each day. The money to seek daily bread is more expensive than the bread itself. And the poor man and the poor masses are the ones suffering it. While the politicians are traveling abroad, enjoying themselves, going on holiday with their families, having better security around them, and the poor Nigerians are getting poorer by the day. So we have been ranked amongst other poor countries of the world. That alone is worrisome. And coming home, we do not have a middle class anymore. In contemporary Nigeria today, you are either poor or you are rich. There's no middle class to say, okay, we are the middle class. There's no middle class anymore. Far before now, we used to have middle class, but okay, before them are the average Nigerian. So I do not see today enough persons to live their life on a daily basis. The means and the wherewithal is for what will carry them for a day. You do not think of even what to invest or what to keep in the bank. Go to our banks are empty. Because what most Nigerians live on, they live on service. They render services. And this service that they render, they live on a daily pay of it. That's how they manage to cope with themselves and the family. Rentage is fighting hard, subscription is fighting hard, medical bill is fighting hard, the bill is fighting hard, even when there's no electricity for us to even enjoy. But people keep paying a movement amount of money. The health center is a no-go area. You say you pray not even possible, but before 6 days in Nigeria, before you say Jack and Robinson, you spend up to like 100,000 naira for medication, and they are not smiling either. Buying of sachet water at the moment, the price also has gone up. So it's a worrisome trend, and I think the call for labor for minimum wage of 100,000 naira to me is even small. They should pay it at 200,000 naira for labor.
Okay, Comrade, before we even get to...
For you to leave your point of house to your point of work, spend almost their salary.
Okay, before we even get to labor current demand, there are those who say that what is going on right now in the Middle East, what is going on with the war in Iran, with America and also Israel, shouldn't really affect us that much because we're a country blessed with a lot of mineral resources and natural resources. We shouldn't even be going through food inflation, energy, gas skyrocketing because we have several refineries, sadly, that are not even working. So why are we still where we are at this point?
Yes, like you rightly stated, we are a blessed country. Mineral resources, natural resources, we have them in excess, but we have a leadership default. And leadership default that we have has brought us to this point that we find ourselves, whereby we now be the one who goes about begging that a progression in Middle East will not affect Nigeria. But every time they have a breakdown, a shortfall in US, in Israel, in the Middle East, in Ukraine and Russia, it affects the very fabric of life of the country. But when the economy is progressing there, we do not even see the effect on our own Nigerian soil. You agree with me that we do not have refineries. What we have a dump site. A dump site called refinery, where every year they send money there for turnaround maintenance, and the money is shared among some elites in the NNPCL and those in government, and this same money is extorted from the government coffers and shared among individuals. So it is a shame that the country is so blessed with natural mineral resources, we don't have a workable refinery. Whether we rally around the Dangote refinery as a country, which is a shame. If one man, an investor, can invest and build that kind of massive refinery in Lagos, then I wonder how come the Warri refinery is not working. But refinery is not working, refinery is not working, and even the modular refinery they promise us, they're not even working. Open
All right,
the market, get the refineries to function, and you see the economy will boost itself. Because you agree with me, from crude oil production, you have diesel, you have PMS petrol, you have kerosene, you have hydraulics, you have grids that used to produce that, and that's also the booster for the economy. You have engine oil and all of that.
Okay, thank you very much, Comrade. One of the things that the Tinubu administration has been applauded for lately, or that it has been receiving lots of accolades for in some quarters in Nigeria lately, is the drop in the prices of food commodities. You know, some persons have been saying, you know, the prices of food stuff have reduced in the market and all of that. And, you know, this administration has been getting lots of applause for that. But, you know, what do you make of the, should I say, the sharp drop in that? Because now it seems like, you know, the prices are skyrocketing. Do you think there was ever a change? Or do you think the prices dropped at any point? Or do you think it was just a fluke and people were just making a fuss out of nothing?
Yes, I will agree with that assumption, because during the Yuletide season, the price of commodities dropped. For example, the price of rice happens to be one of the major commodities being consumed by Nigerians at that Yuletide season, and even thereafter. The price of the rice dropped. But the price, you see, the price of accommodation did not drop. The price of transportation did not drop. The price of raw materials did not drop for those building. The price of the dollar exchange rate dropped a bit. And you agree with me that it's not because the administration did something to make the dollar drop. It is the real politics, the power politics being played in the international community among the League of Nations, the US, the China, battling illegal tender supremacy. That's what brought about the drop of the dollar. Not the Nigerian factor. The Chinese yuan trying to penetrate the market to acquire the dollar. The dollar also trying to gain force into the market as well. And those activities brought about the shortfall in exchange rate. Not that we did any magic in Nigeria. No. So I will agree that there was a shortfall of price of commodity during the Yuletide season. But thereafter, you know, it's only food. Transportation is still where it is. Rentage keeps going up. So the ripple effect was not highly felt. The countries some years ago were blessed with food that were exported to other neighboring countries. But today we import even food commodities into Nigeria. Because we failed to tackle the insecurity that the devil does when people cannot go to the front freely and come back freely. So I think as a nation, we are not ready yet. When we're ready, we will know.
Okay, Comrade Kelvin. Now, amidst all of this, a lot of questions to be asked. Take you back to what happened over the weekend in Imo State, Nigeria, where we had President's son, Seyi Tinubu, his wife, and other host members of the City Boys movement. Of course, they went there on an empowerment scheme program, and we saw what happened afterwards, how it turned out to be a disaster between the Village Boys movement and the City Boys movement. I honestly do not know how they came up with that interesting slang, but looking at it holistically and from your own human rights angle, why do you think Nigerians reacted the way they did, with a lot of persons scrapping for whatever they can get and making it a charade of the whole event in particular?
Condemn that act of the Village Boys, as so ascribe their name. You do not attack your political opponent because they come to do an empowerment scheme in your area. I believe when ADC members also attacked in Edo State also, I also condemn that act on my personal platform. You see, we must not use illegality to correct illegality. The best mechanism would be to get ability and vote right. Not going to attack people that come to empowerment because they're possibly because it's president's wrong. It's wrong because whether you like to know, there are people there that need those items at the same time for empowerment. There are people that also need them to survive. So you going there to hijack the process and that's it.
But can we also likely say that Nigerians, some of the Nigerians who did what they did that because of the poor standard of living in Nigeria? Could that be the case? Comrade Kelvin, can you hear me? So it seems we're having a bit of technical glitch with Comrade, but we'll try to regain connectivity with him. But the conversation is on, really, with a lot of Nigerians still having to react to what happened over the weekend in Imo State and saying perhaps it's because of how bad things has gotten to right here in Nigeria. That's why we see them do what they do in Imo State. Harry, what do you make out of it?
Well, a hungry man is an angry man. So I wasn't surprised when that incident played out in Imo State, though it seemed like a political charade, but that was just Nigerians expressing themselves, expressing the current state of their minds. Okay, you cannot come, it's just like a mockery. I think that a lot of persons, the Village Boys saw it as a mockery, of the average Nigerian. So they came out to express how they felt. As much as I joined the comrades to condemn the act of violence that was perpetrated in that event, well, like I said, a hungry man is an angry man. We hope that going forward such an incident does not repeat itself, because it never ends well.
But interestingly, there were those who actually did state that it was just a clear case of Nigerians taking what belongs to them, what rightfully belongs to them, and that's why we saw what we did see there.
Yes, like I said, when someone is, just like when a goat is pushed to the wall, it's really no news that Nigerians know what their right is. They know what rightfully belongs to them, like you said. And if it's not coming to them the expected way, then I guess the right thing to do, or should I say what they deem right to do, is to take it by force. So I guess that was what's actually panned out there. Like I said, this is not in any way intended to applaud violence or to encourage it, but it's a call on our leaders to do the needful, just so we're able to forestall such situations going forward.
Of course. Well, we'll quickly take a short break, and when we return, we'll move over to the final part of the conversation. Please stay with us.
This is Anegbete community situated in Isako Central Local Government area of Edo State. It is an agrarian community with united people that promotes unity and oneness for peaceful coexistence. The inhabitants of the community migrated from Benin, the cradle of black civilization, a kingdom where king is truly king. The ancestors of Anegbete saw that age was the main determinant of leadership in the rural setting, and the eldest man in the settlement was regarded as the leader who presided over meetings, and his authority is held in high esteem. To further strengthen this unique system of leadership, age group evolved in Anegbete. In Anegbete, age group is categorized into two, that is the common and the noble. Anegbete is rich in cultural heritage, as the community at noon saw the commitment of the festival with the first set rolled out in beauty colors to showcase their might and strength, indicating their feet and ready for the responsibilities behold on them. The streets in the community with a feed up of young men and women adorned with the festival. Later, the royal family takes the stage as their children fight out royally and work in the community to showcase their might and fitness.
My leader.
Great to have you back. It's still this morning on ITV, and we're right here in our Benin studio. Now, Anu, back to the maid conversation. Do you think these 154,000 naira increase negotiation is going to see the light of day, or it's just another one of our, hula baloo that will end up not, making any impact at the end of the day?
Well, this is Nigeria. You never can tell until you get to, voice whatever it is, whatever demands it is that you're making. And that is what NLC is trying to do. But let's move over to our guest who is back with us, Comrade Kelvin Ujimidil. Thank you so much for rejoining. Now, I'll also push that question to you. Do you think it's going to make the light of the day, or you just feel it's one of labor unions' charade of being, because over time here in Nigeria, the labor union have been tagged as a toothless dog that only gets to back, and we don't even feel the impact. Nigerian citizens do not feel the impact of who they are and what they do. Please go ahead.
Yes, I think it's a wake-up call by the NLC. Though over the years we've not felt their impact. They always cry wolf at the 11th hour. They back out with a press release from CUC and NLC. But I think in this one, I must give them kudos. It's a wake-up call, because certainly it's biting hard on all workers, both the private sector and the government sector. And I think this is a wake-up call. And the government must give them a listed ear. If we can lavish money around for travel, expense, and all of that, then the very people that put their services, to put their boots on the foot, they should be able to work at that for, because working for 35 years, at the end of the day, what do they have to show? Nothing. So I think 104,000 naira for me is even small. I would have employed labor to go for 200,000 naira bargain, because the once before, government will tell you they can't pay once before, government still wants to negotiate it down. It's better when you negotiate with the federal government, take your slave high, so at the end of the day, you put at the benchmark and have an equilibrium. I think it's still light of the day because everybody's feeling the heat.
All right, comrade, 154,000 naira. Now, to some persons, that might be asking for too much. But do you think this is the last bus stop, or it's a case of Oliver Twist that is always asking for more? Do you think it will get to a certain point again where we might want to review that one and demand for another increase?
The very constant thing in life is change. Change this is a constant phenomenon. As long as human life evolves, and I think it evolves these days, we must revisit the minimum wage issue because the what you pay for renting in 2026, for example, is not what you're going to pay in 2028.
True.
The cost of leaving your house to your workplace in 2026 might be different from the cost in 2028. So as each day evolves, as society evolves, secondly, the paycheck also rise up. Because you agree with me that, for example, 10 years ago, coming from Lagos to Lagos, for example, was up to let's say 1,500 or maybe 90. But today, going from Benin to Lagos, you know what the price is. And you stop at Ore and see one or two there, you know the price of what you buy there. Don't say you buy 500 banana in Ore, it takes you from everywhere it's filled up. But today you don't even have banana 500 anymore. So that's why the society has evolved and things also have evolved. So the government, it's just an aberration that our government doesn't plan for next generation. In the same time, the labor that we require, as production keeps growing, on government keeps looking at the production and say, okay, that's why the amount to go for labor. That's why the amount to go for HMO. You project as the event of both, you project. You see, only in Nigeria our pictures are docile.
Okay.
2020 came, not 2020. The 12 billion goal came, nothing to show for billion goal. Now we are 2026, they are planning for 2050. And 22 comes, the Nigerian government will have nothing to show for it.
All right, Comrade Calvin. Now, another major question that we should also turn our attention to and look at is the one regarding governance. Do you think governance has taken a back burner right now in Nigeria? Now, I ask this question because it's a couple of months down to the 2027 general election, and the only thing we are seeing and hearing from the government is as regards politics, as regards campaigning, as regards what political parties should be doing. Just recently, the federal government has ordered persons in government now who have intentions for running for election in 2027 to resign on or before March 31st. So all we hear now is the election, opposition parties even clamoring for their own bit of the national cake. So has governance taken a back burner? Do you think the government is even aware that it's the way it is right now with Nigerians?
Yes, they are aware. They read the news, they have social media, they have aides, they report back to them, they see the handwriting, their colleagues from the international community also give them the feedback. They see how our nation has been ridiculed among the global league of nations. So they see all of this. But a wicked leader will always be a wicked leader. A leader that lacks empathy for his people, there's no way you can change it. When a leader lacks empathy, then they give priority to what they think to. All of them hustle and bustle, election, propaganda, coming up with different theories and all of that, to counterclaim, backlash, front and back center. It's because all they are concerned is to retain power. But I bet you all of them will not be voted back. Nigerians are wiser than they think Nigerians are aware before now. A whole lot of them, that's why they are aware. They know certainly, that's why they are scared of the electoral transmission. Because if it is scaled through, 80% of politicians will not go back. 80% won't go back. Because we keep pushing the blame to President Tinubu. What about the state governor? What about the senators, as a rep member, local government chairman? The money they get now as people. The president does not hold back their money. He puts the money to them as it comes from federal allocation. He gives them their money. They fail to do the needful. They are okay with their families being abroad, travel abroad to see their families. They've given them dual citizenship. They let the country burn for all the care. But they fail to understand that there's no place like home.
Right.
And the time will come whereby the want solace in this country, they will not have the solace in this country that they see.
Now, at this point, what do you think Nigerians should do moving forward on the final note?
Let's come together. Let's hold our leaders accountable. For example, you have a local government chairman, form a forum of people in your local government, go to his office and ask, we want to see your scorecard for 1 year. Give them demand. Your state governor, give them demand, but we must come together, because if we don't come together, you can't push through. When everybody's talking, nobody's talking. So people must form forum in their communities, in their state, in their local government, and hold these leaders accountable. Leave your state, go to Abuja, meet your senator representative there that, sir, we came here, your people are here. We want to know, why have you not done extra projects that you promised to do, and let us know how much has come to your focus from the government. You see senators sharing wheelbarrows to people for employment program. Talking to Okada to go and write for what kind of employment is that? So they cannot build a tech hub to train 1,000 youth to learn tech, cyber security, push them into health sector to learn midwifery and nursing. So it's appalling that we still live in an era that the world has passed. So they act like they don't know what's obtainable. They know what's obtainable. You see them going abroad, standing by their children when they graduate from law school, medicine, and other good courses to go abroad. But yet they will tell you after to go to hell. But sooner than they have been saying, a revolution might strike in this country that will not have a leader. If they keep playing politics with the lives of people, if people die every day, they don't make remarks on it. No empathy. Our military men are being compelled to fight on a hungry stomach. No welfare package for their family. The ones that they are put have been invested also in the battlefield. Then we have a lacuna. And when people have nothing to report back to, they fall back and take law into their hands. I pray that's not going to happen in Nigeria, where we'll not be in a state of anarchy.
All right, thank you, Comrade Kelvin. Now, you made mention of empathy on the part of the government of the day. Now, do you think the federal government is willing, or has, or from your observation of their body language, do you think they are willing to come to the negotiating table, especially with 154,000 naira at stake?
You see, the president you have is a smart politician. He will come to the negotiation table. He knows that the atmosphere is very tense. And from all quarters, Nigerians are agitated, they are angry. So he doesn't want there to be an unrest in the country. Because we've seen what has played out in other countries of the world. If an unrest breaks out in this country at the moment we are now, I'm telling you, we do not have the security to even contain it. Because he who is down fears the ball. Nigerians are exhausted, they are overstressed. They breach their limit. They don't have to cross the Rubicon. Any little trigger, they are best. So I don't President Tinubu will come to the same table. He's never going to ask you going forward, because he wouldn't want them to say whose side or no work, no pay agenda. I want to know that will work. At this point in time, it will work.
Speaking about Nigerians being overstretched, one of the major quality that has been accrued to a lot of Nigerians, and Nigerians in particular, is adaptability. A situation where we're just quick to adapt to any situation, any circumstances, and then we'll move forward and act as if nothing is even going on. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad quality to have?
It's a bad quality to have, because in a local parliament, they say suffer on the street. The local parliament tells you that suffer on the street person. You know, suffering is not a sweet tale for one to experience. So why we want the closer, even in it, when you know the government of the day, they've sworn on oath to deliver the government of the government to us. So in all of this, Nigerians, I think we got it from Christianity. When missionaries came at that moment, they told us to be, to persevere, to get better, Christ endured, suffering to the cross, and all of that. So that ideology over the years has been inside of us. We saw a country whereby they increased the price of bread in Tunisia at that time, and it led to a full-scale protest in the country. Ordinary bread, and they increased the price of bread. We saw the other countries, they banned people using the wheelbarrow to up, and it's using put fire on itself and inflame its body. That'll tell you how people are a bit frustrated. But in Nigeria, because the federal Christianity, we must be Christ-like, we must be peaceful. If they slap in this cheek, turn the other cheek, let them slap the other cheek, forgive seven times. So we are not used to this narrative of hunger. That some of us people see hunger as sort of a test through life. Some call it midlife crisis, some call it end-life crisis, and all of that. They give it different kind of narrative, and those were born from the British, who at that time told us, using indirectly to rule us, you beat us by daytime, give us bread at night.
All right, thank you, comrade.
We've been tailored and wired to see it like it will get better. Like the song of Oriental Wood of Blessed Memory. One day it will better. And that one day to get better. We've not seen that one day.
All right. Thank you so much, comrade. Now, I'd like to ask this. If you were to project the future, if you were to examine what's going on right now, do you think if there is a stalemate, let's say the federal government and the Labour are not able to reach an agreement on this particular issue, do you see a protest following this?
Yes, I see a protest coming. If the federal government fails to listen to the plight of Labour, it's going to lead to a full-scale protest. Because right now, even we as CSOs, we're going to join the protest as well. Because I'm used to one to say, I'm used to all. I'm a state actor. That doesn't mean I won't give the plight of my people. If it warrants my office and the people, I'm going to leave my office and stick with the people. Because governors will come and go, but the people stay the pattern. So when it comes to when people are being pushed to the wall and say leave them, who is there? Then people tell you that without the people there's no government. Globally, without the population, without the people, there's no government. You can't sit on a seat and say you're ruling the people where the people are not with you. But I don't see the 100,000 scaling through, but I know they're going to negotiate, and some level of increment will be done in that regard. But I'll beg Labour not to sell out the struggle the way they always do, or go and collect palliative from the back and say that they are terrorized the teachers, they are terrorized the government workers, to pushing it forward. Don't pushing the effect. Increase the minimum wage. Let only them push their own effect by themselves. Don't go and give them rice or spaghetti or ground and say you are pushing the effect of hunger. Let pay them the minimum wage as agreed by Labour, increase the minimum wage, and ensure the welfare of workers and all of that is carried along. Because the money they spend to renovate houses, to buy streets of cars, you keep wondering how much will it cost to build a tech village in all 36 states. The phones you're using and the phones I'm using now, we don't even have an internet of our own. And Nigeria doesn't have an internet of our own. We create a satellite from other countries to do our own thing. So what is tomorrow to shut us down? Your country will be in disarray.
Okay, Comrade Calvin. A lot of things has been said, but what would be your passing words to the federal government, to the citizen in Nigeria, and also the labor union as well?
My party wants Nigerians first and foremost is this: we must hold our leaders accountable. We also must be also patriotic, because a country you do not love cannot give that increase to you. We as citizens also have a role to play. We must be patriotic to our country, Nigeria, and our leaders must be sensitive to the plight of the people. They must know that politics is not the way it was 10 years ago. People are wiser, they are smarter, and they are more informed than they were prior before now. So those gimmicks that they use over the years, coming with the same manifesto, the branding for manifesto, fresh air, fresh breath, fresh peace, fresh down of that, it's not going to work anymore. The people must feel the best of governance at the lowest level. The councillor must represent very well. The government chairman must deliver their quota. After the members of reps, senators, and all of that, then the governor and the president. Everyone must walk the talk. Because when we don't walk the talk, there's a lacuna between governors and the people. And when that happens, there'll be a shortfall of law and order inside. So I think going forward, the presidency must sit up, and also the EFCC and ICBC, they must sit up as well. Because the impunity that politicians to steal is because the EFCC are not doing their job, they are corrupt. If the FCC go after these politicians, I lie you not, they will be scared to steal this money from government companies. But today, people steal with ease. And the next thing they come and tell people that they don't want to flip again, to say they are losing those things, give the government, they don't ask the government and take who's money? Our taxpayers' money, want to flip again for us? No. They should make them return all the money they are so fast and rot in jail.
Right.
That's the only way you can serve deterrence for other people.
Well, thank you so much, Comrade Calvin Ojemidil, SSA to the Delta State Governor on Human Rights. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me, my pleasure.
Yeah, we can only hope that things eventually get better in Nigeria. Well, that's our bit this morning right here in Benin. We'll quickly take a short break, and when we return, more would be on for you. Please stay with us.
Ugieni Madonna, Imazedion, Orero, always near Agbo, Manazo, or Ugieni Madonna.
You will have to serve the community for 30 years before you come to this stage. They will ordain you ordain title. Then by then you are one of the elder.
This year now, we don't read the year, so that's why we can do this year.
Historically, joining the Elders Council, an individual must have reached a certain age and must have made significant contributions to the community through leadership, service, or other meaningful ways. There was jubilation in the community as sons and daughters of Okada, both at home and in the diaspora, trooped out to be part of the ceremony with various hymns of the initiates agog with festivities. Friends and well-wishers of those initiated into the Elders Council jubilated at the Ogwedion after performing all traditional rites. The elders, known as Edion, in company with their loved ones, danced to their various homes where guests and family members were entertained.
ITV, certainly the best.
Top on the list of the initiates was the eldest son of the Esama of Benin and former governor of Edo State, Chief Lucky Nosakare Igbenedion. 11 of his siblings, namely Bright Ayamekwe Igbenedion, Honorable Charles Osenwige Igbenedion, Peter Osawari Igbenedion, Dr. Fred Osanwi Igbenedion, Barrister Mike Osarene Igbenedion, Efosa Douglas Igbenedion, Ukbonwa Enes Igbenedion, Osawe Igbenedion, Edosa Igbenedion, Dr. Daniel Omorige Igbenedion, Agbon Steve Igbenedion, as well as the Executive Director Operations, ITV and Radio, Chief Elder Ugbeide Nwonse. It was a vital aspect of Okada community's cultural heritage, which emphasized the significance of age, responsibility, and community service. Over 50 notable sons of Okada were also initiated. According to tradition and customs, those initiated, dressed in white traditional attire, were made to undergo some rituals, while the Odionwe pronounces blessings on them and assisted them to take a seat with the elders.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still on TMI this beautiful morning on I am Marcelina Unkwo. And our guest this morning that would be helping us analyze into this topic is Dr. Sam Wasinda. He is a political analyst. Hello, good morning, Dr. Sam.
Good morning. Thanks for having me this morning.
And thank you so much for coming. So, there are reports that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has directed members of his cabinet and key appointees who are nursing governorship or other electoral ambition ahead of 2027 to either resign or clearly declare their intention. What means interest, early 2027 realignment, and internal party control signal to opposition. And this has gotten a lot of persons talking. Is this about discipline or political strategy, Dr. Sam?
Okay, you know, if you follow the political trend, you will know that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not the first to give this directive. At some point, Goodluck Jonathan did that. That's around 2014/2015. In preparation of the 2015 election, and then Muhammadu Buhari did the same by 2019, and then 2022 when he was preparing for his second term. So for me, I see that as a strategy, not about that enables the system, you know, runs easily. What do I mean by that is as simple as when you declare your intention, it's better for you to be able to have that time to go and be able to go and prepare for what is coming, and then it helps the government also to strategize. So it's two things. Either about governance, 2027 presidential election. So, do you think it's too early to be talking about 2027? I mean, it's just next year, but do you think it's too early talking about 2027? Well, if we're talking about too early from now, I don't think it is, but I think 2027 started when this ruling party came into power. As soon as the declaration of the new president emerged, the next thing for me, their focus was 2027, because everything was geared towards that direction. So it's way early as per the time the government. So the preparation, the campaigns and everything started as far back as some 3 years ago. So I think we're just getting to the climax of the election preparation. But for me, what is to remember it way much before now. But I think we also have a lot of problems in our hands that Nigerians should, the government should rather concentrate in making those things straight. Otherwise, to resign or make their intentions known. Do you think it's appropriate for ministers to begin positioning for 2027 while still holding executive office? Well, for me, like I said in the beginning of my talk, you see, when you want to vote for political office,
The Ugewe is the final ceremony of the series of festivals. It is one of peace and lightheartedness, following the more solemn of the ritual year. Ugewe is the festival of the Ewe leaves, a symbol of good luck and joy. It is the most popular of all that heralds the dawn of a Benin New Year, new vow, newness of life and freshness of life, and a new hope for the future. In the evening, the Ewe leaves are presented to the Oba of Benin in grand style in a colorful ceremony. The Ihogbe Society, amidst singing and dancing, bring the sacred leaves that symbolize good luck, blessings, peace, and prosperity. Each of the senior members of the Ihogbe proceeds to give the sacred leaves directly to the Oba of Benin, and others put theirs at his feet.
APC, I mean, we are talking about APC. Could this trigger internal crisis within the APC? Do you see these trigger? Do you think it could trigger internal crisis within the APC?
It would be strange if it doesn't trigger internal crisis. The reason is because the APC of today has too many champions who have come into APC, and the only reason why I feel the place is a bit calm and the dust is not rising now is because I have not gotten to actually replace of the primaries, and the like, which we are approaching gradually, because there are people who have been in that party and who have been loyal to that party for a very long time, and then we have some people who are defecting on the ground that maybe some certain concession is given to them. You don't expect such people to be quiet because they already envisage and believe that this turn is most likely to be their turn, and so if now they have to give some certain because the ruling party is trying to make sure they retain power at all costs, you should expect that after they get to that primary itself, definitely the board to start rocking. Not because they intended, but every individual who is there also have his own ambition.
You made mention about trying to learn at all costs.
Yes.
Can you please expatiate?
Yeah, what I mean by that is that you could see that number one, like I said, from the beginning of this government, this is one government that from the beginning started campaigning.
Okay.
And their campaign, I don't know, I start corrected. He can outgrade campaign, and campaigns have also when simply means that all NCL of you see the way God to defend into AP. I mean, suddenly. But you see, like I said, the last time I was here, you have 30 governors. that were important in this. But Nigeria woken up. Thank God that Nigeria, with the sanitation that is going on, people are beginning to get aware more and more. And that is why we keep telling Nigeria, and I will tell them, if they bring it, collect it. Because it's your money. It's your tax money. Collect it, eat it, and vote your conscience. Don't say no, collect it. Collect it, the next man is going to collect it. And that's why I said, if they bring it to me, I'm going to gladly collect it. If they even want to have a photograph with me, I will take the photograph with them. But my photograph does not in any way means my vote. Do you understand? I will still go ahead and vote my conscience. And that is what I want to encourage Nigeria to do this morning. If they bring anything to you, from irrespective of the party, please collect it and vote your conscience. Because what they are giving you is to take your right and still go ahead and vote your conscience.
Interesting. What they're giving you is your rights. Take your right and vote your conscience. We saw the president's son a few days ago, you know, I mean, of course, as his father, I would want to campaign for him. It said, I mentioned, it said, please give my father time. I mean, he's fixing the crack wars. I would say you should give him more time. And a lot of Nigerians on the comment section, they said, you know, the 3 years he has been there, what has he done? You're supposed to be showing us workings and not just coming out to tell us that, oh, give him more time. He's trying to fix the crack wars. You know, if you give him more time, he would do better and all of that. And Nigerians didn't find it funny at all. What would you have to say about that?
You see, one thing about this country and the people of Nigeria is that we are one of the simplest, most easygoing people. But when you take us to be fools and cowards, then you will see the other side of Nigeria, and that is where we are heading to. If the current government is actually fixing the crack war, they don't need to come to tell us. We will see that crack wars are being fixed.
Okay.
So you got to be patient. No, if you are doing well, Nigerians will know. We always want to come for you and stand by you and insist that you must be the one because they have seen, you know, the level of continuity. I'll give you an example, like the current governor of Abia State. You could see, but you could see the weight of the majority. Why? Because they could sense and feel dividends of democracy.
Governor Alex Otti.
Of course. And you could see how people keep talking about him. Even in skits, they use him for skits, and when they are talking about good governance, they make references to that. Nigerians are not fools. We are not cowards. We are not animals. Even though the politicians are making they take time to make us think so, but we know ourselves as not. So once something is right, we know how to align ourselves behind it. Do you understand me? So this is the position of this. So one of the reasons why you see that he's having a back reaction is because what he's saying is not adding up to Nigerians. So if the president his father is fixing the crack war, we are not blind. See that the crack wars are being fixed. The crack war is the security. There's just one news overnight that is waiting for us in the morning. And you see, the irony and the sad part of it is that it was gotten to the point where even the people in government do not really say much about it. It just happened and no comment. It's just like, is it not 25 or is it not 30 that just died? That's how I feel that they feel. Because you hardly hear them say something. You hear anything around, just like, okay, so thing happened, over 500 people died.
Do you know that just saw the video came out to say he doesn't believe in bandits, that there's no bandits, no banditry, especially in Abuja, that it's calm, safe, that he doesn't believe in it. And a lot of persons were saying about concerning that particular video that, I mean, because, you know, you're always moving with security, your children are always moving with security. It hasn't come to you, you haven't experienced it yet. So that's why you're thinking and you have this feeling that there's no, or your thoughts in your mind that there's no bandits, no banditry, that everywhere is safe and peaceful, especially in Abuja.
Okay, for me, I have not watched the video, but I can tell you that tells us the kind of people we have in government. The level of the insensitivity. So telling you that he's under a siege, and you are telling him it's not true. When you are not in the position where he is, common sense would have told you to look at that direction and see why the people are reacting and why the people are speaking the way they are speaking. But when you now begin to make them feel like they are the one don't know what they are saying, there is banditry, they are they are victims victim of banditry, and you are coming as a government that your primary assignment is secure liberty, and you tell them there is no such thing them release from every man should watch, shine their eyes to know that this is the kind of people that we have there, and that we should know what this kind of people. Somebody whose family is killed by bandits, you are coming to tell him that there is no banditry. You are coming to tell him that there is no Boko Haram. You are coming to tell him that there is no insurgency. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense. Somebody like me, you can't tell me that because my elder sister husband was killed by Boko Haram. So will you come and tell me that Boko Haram?
Oh, sorry about that.
Thank you. Will you come and tell me that there's nothing like Boko Haram when he was killed by Boko Haram? That's what I'm trying to say. It just tells you that these guys, they are just after the next re-election, and if they have the opportunity, they just want to keep recycling in power forever. And that is what they're after. And anything outside that, it doesn't make sense to them. It doesn't add up to them. So they don't feel the pain about Nigeria. They don't feel okay. I just learned that West President went to Borno after the issue of the Susa bombing. When? But he has been in the country. In fact, the same day they were sending a congratulatory message to one of the governors. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, the president sent service chiefs down there.
Now, does it cost him? I had somebody, I think even this morning on my way here, he was saying that the president is not the one that went and threw the bomb there. It's making any sense. Must he be the one to throw the bomb before he show sympathy to people who are victims by virtue of his swearing in was to protect life and property, and now lives and properties are being destroyed, and then somebody is coming to say he's not the one that threw the bomb? Doesn't make any sense. So for me, Nigerians should shine their eyes, like I said, and make their decisions. If this is what they want to live with for another 4 years, it's up to Nigerians if they are okay with it. But right back and just feel that it's already won. So it's one of the manipulative statements, and every move these people are making should point to Nigerians that this is what you should expect. There's not going to be any change. For somebody to come of that level to say he doesn't believe in banditry, it tells us that the kind of people that we have in our system.
Okay, let's talk about the ministers foresee high resignation in the I mean, the president already told them to resign. So do you foresee any high-profile resignation in coming weeks?
Well, possibly. Like I said, I'm sure by now, after the president gave the directive, I want to believe that some of them have started weighing the options and then start to see their chances, because this particular 2020 election is different from every other election. Why I said that is because we have somebody who is interested and who is intentional about retaining power, and he can go to any length to ensure that he gets it done. So you need to really watch his body language to be sure if you leave the cabinet, you may have the chance, particularly if he also has somebody in mind that probably he wants that will also hit. So your resignation could be high risk. So I think high-profile politicians might, but for now I think they are really weighing their options to be sure that this move will favor them. Like I said, of this particular different from, because they're so interested, and not just interested in the position, it's interested in every part of the political seats, and that is the correct.
So at this point, they are weighing their options.
So they have in their option, that I know. We might and we might not know. So they have to look at the advantage properly before they make that move.
Okay, they need to look at it properly, the move. This move reassurance that government remains the priority.
You see, government remains the priority, but like I said, if a life and system permits, I don't think this is the kind of Nigerians believe is a priority. Nigerians don't think this is a system. And how do I mean? This is government. Don't let the master systems. I don't want them to deal with me. Don't forget that this is the system. You can even come into governance governance and you can govern. So there's no, Nigeria has than to respect the law and the policy that is on ground, which has to be through this means. Like I said, you can the fact that a politician that for ruling, for me, whatever they are doing, Nigerians need to check it and check it and check it over and over and over again, so that they can be very sure and that this thing is exactly what we think it is. Otherwise, the more you see, the more you look, the less.
So the Nigerians really need to look at it very well to be sure. I mean, these people, they are our leaders to be trusted.
Of course, but unfortunately, the trust this time. You couldn't issue an element.
Okay.
That was even obvious. There have been several, but this one was obvious. That the people are asking for that transmission. The people. And then you could sit in the house, even while the people were outside. And you could still come to say, okay, we'll give you, but we are also adding this to it. And the people say, no, don't add it to it, leave it at that. But you still went ahead. And in less than 24 hours, you passed it into law to make it stand. It shows that the Nigerians have been, you beat, they don't trusted you. And that was why they could come. There were other options. Other the options could have been. But Nigerians choose the way of peace by going through a peaceful protest. Even with the reaction from some of the security agencies at some point tear-gassing them, but they still maintain that conduct to ensure that they come and why that was not trust the people, but our that trust. So that is where the problem begins. So this current government that are in power now they have to work extra time if they must gain the trust of now. But unfortunately, I don't know if within the time available they'll be able to make that happen. But Nigerian trust on this government is being betrayed. In fact, a common man in the street, every day you wake up, everybody in my area, everybody you wake up, when you see two people talking, I can tell you they spend 5 minutes, 4 minutes, they are talking about Nigeria. Every 5 minutes people stand together to talk, 4 minutes is Nigeria. So almost everybody now has become analysis. They're analyzing what's going on, what could be the next possible. Some of them are fears. Some of them are expressing their anxiety, their expectation. They don't even know what will happen next. That's because the government is no longer trusted. Not because they don't want to trust the government, but at every time they trust the government betrays their trust.
Wow. Interesting. Okay, tell me about the electoral transmission of results. You know, the citizens, according to him, facing cases of networks and all, you know, in case the electronic transmission of results fails, will fall back to manual. And the people, at the same time, I've had guests, studio, you know, that said that they agreed with, you know, that electoral act. I mean, according to them, there are some places that there's no lights, no network. You know, if network glitches, the main mention network phase, you know, are you people be able to eat in the? And at the same time, Nigerians, they're scared that what if results is being manipulated, you know, before it's been uploaded, if they're using manual? What would you have to say? What is your take?
You see, anytime I hear this, I get angry by the day. You know why? Somebody collected money and assure us that this system that he has introduced cannot fail. Several times he has appeared in media houses, engage journalists to confirm to assure Nigerians this cannot fail. Now, in election, I started. We didn't have any exception one way. Nobody head has gone for it. Nobody is punished for it. And then you want me to still trust you that what you are saying is making sense? Let's fast forward. the budget, the current budget for the next election is more than what we had before, and this was also included. If you know this will fail, why are you also creating a budget for it? It doesn't make sense. It does not make any sense. They told us once you upload it, all of us are at one point or the other, somehow, we are using things that uses transmission. One of it is your phone. Sometimes I send you a message, you are not online or there's no network. It will definitely deliver. Also confirm to us, once it is uploaded, once you get to where there is network, it will automatically send it forward. So what is the fear?
Okay, so what should Nigerians do at this point? Or what should the government do to gain the trust of Nigerians?
For me, I don't know what the government will be able to do to trust, to regain back the trust of Nigeria, because at every time they made every singular move, Nigerians are feeling betrayed by every move they made. So my message this morning will be to Nigerians. Let's stay focused and then decide what we want and go through the process that the system has provided and then check the process with our numbers. Like I said, we are talking about over 200 million Nigerians. And so if we have such people and then come out in mass to vote, please, I can assure you that we can overrun these people.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Sam Wasinda, for your time, for helping us analyze to this topic. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you all our viewers. Thank you, Nigerians, for joining our Lagos Network studio this beautiful morning on CMI. I am Marcelina. We would be handing over to our Benin Network studio for the continuation of CMI.
This is Akwa Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming.
To you and thanks for joining us on ITV News for this time. I am Harry Igboje. Residents of Akoko-Edo local government area are witnessing renewed efforts to improve road infrastructure as the council chairman, Right Honorable Alabi Bliss Oshonogwe, has commenced the grading of Oloma Road along the Okbe axis. Oluwafemi Farayola has details.
The road grading project is part of ongoing initiatives aligned with the development agenda of Edo State Governor Senator Monday Okpebholo, aimed at promoting grassroots development and inclusive governance. Speaking on the development, the council chairman, Right Honorable Alabi Bliss Oshonogwe, said the road grading exercise is a practical step toward easing transportation challenges and boosting economic activities within the area. He noted that the exercise began shortly after the distribution of construction equipment to all 18 local government areas by the Edo State government. According to him, the council's works department has been directed to ensure that all internal roads across the locality are graded before the onset of the rainy season in a bid to enhance accessibility and support local businesses.
We are flagging off this grading exercise across the entire wards in the local government. We are starting from the local headquarters in Igara. We are going to get across to all the communities in Akoko-Edo. We are going to touch all the roads that need grading. We're also going to reach out to all the farm roads so that our farmers can easily convey their farm produce to the market. We sincerely appreciate His Excellency on behalf of the good people of our local government for this developmental stride, and we use this equipment judiciously.
The grading exercise is not limited to Oloma Road. Other affected areas include Lawani Junction, Inigara, Second Lawani Junction, Idiba Street, areas opposite Old Area 1, along Momodu Ajayi Road, Ugbogbo Quarters, Uta Quarters, and the Rest House Junction. Residents have expressed optimism that the intervention will significantly improve movement and overall living conditions in the communities. For many, this marks a step in the right direction towards sustainable infrastructure development at the grassroots level. Oluwafemi Farayola, ITV News.
And Edo State government says it will synergize with entertainers in the state as a way of harnessing the creative potential of its youths. The Deputy Governor, Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa, stated this during the courtesy visit by state entertainers at Government House, Benin City. Deborah Ubefo has more.
A delegation of Edo-based entertainers from the 18 local government areas of the state, led by the Director of Entertainment and Creative Economy, Ambassador Solomon Okosun, popularly known as MC Alamano, visited Government House, Benin City on a familiarization with the state government. Solomon Okosun used the meeting to highlight the role of entertainment in youth empowerment, economic development, and possible areas of collaboration.
These are creative because we know we have done a lot of things in this grade that went viral all over the world. That is why we are here. This is what we are doing. This is what we are feeding from. So we government back in, I know we do a lot. And I come up with a proposal to see how we can also help us to look into this, where creative can assess soft law to work and be really done.
Receiving the entertainers, Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa said the Monday Okpebholo-led administration is committed to partnering with entertainers to promote culture, create jobs, and boost the state's creative industry.
The administration of distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo is ready to work and to develop the talents that we have here in Edo State. I really appreciate you and the executive. We are very, very grateful for this courtesy visit. I will discuss with the Executive Governor of our dear state and revert to you in no distant time.
The Deputy Governor also assured stakeholders in the creative industry of sustained engagement and increased collaboration.
The next thing we are going to do is to meet with you, have interactive section, and see some of the challenges that you are going through. And Edo State government will partner with you to ensure that those challenges will provide solutions to them.
In Government House, Benin, Deborah Ubefun, ITV News.
Elders, women and youths of Uruho community in Bubauha local government area have extended their heartfelt condolences to the Benin royal family over the passing of late Prince Augustine Agwabasimi, who died at the age of 73. In a statement signed by the Uzokbogiva of the community, Pa Matthew Agbonlaho, the elders described the late prince as a respected and illustrious figure whose life was marked by service, honor, and dignity. He noted that the prince's demise is a great loss not only to the royal family, but also to the entire Benin kingdom. Pa Agbonlaho expressed deep sorrow over the passing, adding that the prince's death has created a significant void within the kingdom. The Uzukbogiva further pledged that the Uruho community will stand in solidarity with the Benin royal family throughout the burial rites of the late prince. He also prayed that God grants the royal family the strength and fortitude to bear the irreparable loss, assuring them of the community's unwavering support during this period of mourning. And to other stories where traders across Benin metropolis, particularly at Kara Market and Jos Adun Market in Aduawa, have raised concerns over low patronage at the Eid al-Fitr celebration approaches. Patience Usarugua reports that contrary to expectations of increased commercial activity during the festive season, customer turnout has remained significantly low.
Our visit to several markets within the metropolis revealed that the prices of essential food items such as rice, tomatoes, fresh pepper, onions, vegetables, groundnut oil, spices, and other commodities have remained relatively stable despite the recent increase in the pump price of petrol. Some traders attributed the low patronage to prevailing harsh economic conditions, which they say have reduced customers' purchasing power.
Since money when I shade, I never say anything.
Like leave, what would they buy? 10,000 before, now 14, 15. The one when I buy this money now, they're not buy.
Nobody's buying anything. I'm just here watching my phone. Patience is low.
Meanwhile, dealers in livestock, including sheep, cows, and goats, also expressed concern over the low demand for protein sources typically associated with the festive period.
Koda mutum ya zo ya taya ma rago wani bai zai taya ma rago yadda ba kai bai zo ma haka nan ba yana taya ma kasa ga da ka sau.
People are complaining about the issue of finance. The people are complaining about financial stress, but the people are still trying their best to buy their market.
Alhaji Muhammad Sosa, the Seki Fulani of Edo State, who was at the market to purchase a cow for the Eid celebration, lamented the high cost of livestock.
Mun azumi lafiya kuma za a yi sallah lafiya. To alhamdulillah ka san yanzu komai yana da tsada. Na sai one cow 2,100,000 naira. Muna roƙo Allah ka kawo muna zaman lafiya a Najeriya.
In preparation for the Eid prayers, the Muslim prayer ground at Ipuba Slope has been cleared following the successful completion of the Ramadan fast.
Federal government declared Thursday 19th and Friday 28th as public holidays to allow the Muslims across the country celebrate the Eid al-Fitr. From Benin, I am Patience Osaugiwa, ITV News.
With over 4,000 police operatives and 2,000 personnel of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps deployed across Edo State, security agencies say they have intensified preparations ahead of the Eid al-Fitr celebrations. Jola Adeojo was there.
Addressing journalists, the public relations officer of the Edo State Police Command, ASP Eno Ikoedem, said officers have been strategically deployed to identify flashpoints across the state, especially recreational centers, as part of Salah security measures. She urged residents to remain law-abiding and warned individuals with criminal intentions to stay away from the state, stressing that the command is fully prepared to respond decisively to any threat to peace and security.
The command has made robust security plans before, during, and even after the Salah celebrations. We've deployed over 4,000 personnel across the states. The Commissioner of Police Edo State Command, CP Monday Agbonika, advises the good citizens of Edo State to remain vigilant, law-abiding, go about your lawful businesses, and for the criminals out there who would want to take advantage of this period to cause any kind of menace during this celebration, our message for you is clear. We will get you, and the arm of the law will definitely catch up with you.
Meanwhile, the Edo State Commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Akitayo Anyela, in a statement, disclosed that 2,000 personnel have been deployed across the 3 senatorial districts. He added that area commanders and divisional officers have been directed to intensify patrols, strengthen intelligence gathering, and adopt proactive security measures within their jurisdictions. Both agencies have assured residents of adequate security during the festive period, urging the public to remain vigilant, law-abiding, and cooperative as emergency response lines will remain active throughout the Salah celebrations. From Benin, Jola Adeojo, ITV News.
And that does it on ITV News for this time. Many thanks for watching. I am Harry Aigboje. TMI Socials is next. Please stay tuned.
certainly the best.
It is also relevant in our coronation in Africa. It is a sport and indeed very interesting, as every seed had a role in the game. Playtime is 45 minutes per set. There is no age limit as long as you can spin aqua seed. Ayo or aqua game, known as the game of intellectual. This game requires a lot of mathematical skills. Aqua game is played with carved wooden box containing 12 holes.
This is Anegbete community, situated in Isako Central Local Government area of Edo State. It is an agrarian community with united people that promotes unity and oneness for peaceful coexistence. The inhabitants of the community migrated from Benin, the cradle of black civilization, a kingdom where king is truly king. The ancestors of Anegbete saw that age was the main determinant of leadership in the rural setting, and the eldest man in the settlement was regarded as the leader who presided over meetings, and his authority is held in high esteem. To further strengthen this unique system of leadership, age group evolved in Anegbete. In Anegbete, age group is categorized into two, that is the common and the noble. Anegbete
Happy holiday! This is TMI Socials. Welcome on board. I am Anuoluwakwo Stevens, a better still call me a social media butterfly. Now today we kickstart in the UK, where King Charles III on Wednesday hosted President Bola Tinubu and First Lady Oluremi Tinubu at a state visit right there in the UK, with a lot of videos trending online about King Charles hailing the president and also hailing Nigerians abroad. In a particular video that has now now gone viral. We saw King Charles III saying Naija no dey carry last. And he also did state that Nigeria's jollof is the best in the world. Take a look.
Of Eid al-Fitr in Nigeria and across the world, I can only wish you and the millions of Muslims in our countries Eid Mubarak. And in doing so, let me propose a toast to the President and people of Nigeria. Niger no dey carry last.
Well, there you have it. Naija no dey carry last. Currently trending on the street of X. How did you take this online? Let's have tweets and reactions. We'll start off with this user who wrote online. Laugh out loud, premium gaslighting, Naija no dey carry last. Whereas your whole country was created and named by the British. Your national anthem, they composed for you. Your official language is their language, your religion is theirs, your educational institutions are modeled after theirs. Another user reacting to this email says, these are the nonsense that some celebrate in this country. Naija no dey carry last, but look at how the economy, security, and currency is always going south compared to other African countries. Giant of Africa by reproduction and not development that improves quality of life for its citizens. While still in this bit, this user wrote, Naija no dey carry last, but na inside heat we dey sleep every night. Okay, now. Well, finally on the story, this user wrote, a toast with the current price of a bottle of wine in Lagos, even the king might need a loan to finish that glass. Naija no dey carry last except when it comes to the cost of living index. Thanks for the vibes, Your Majesty. Well, back here in Nigeria, Vice President Kashim Shettima yesterday said the those behind the recent attacks across Nigeria will be decisively confronted. Now, Shettima reiterated the federal government's resolve to defeat terrorism. He spoke in Maiduguri during a visit to Borno State alongside Director General of National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, in the aftermath of Monday's terror attack on the Borno State capital. Let's take a look.
Until full peace and sanity is restored in Borno, the Northeast, and the nation as a whole. It's a tragedy because no religion sanctions the killings of the innocent. But these demented monsters called Boko Haram, I don't even consider them as members of the human race. But be rest assured that no matter how long the night is, it must give way to the light of the dawn. We are eternal optimists, but we will work harder than ever before to see that full peace is restored. And the government, through the National Emergency Management Agency, I'm here with the DJ. She's a mother, she's a housewife, and she has abandoned her home to be with us here to render succor and support. The Northeast Development Commission is also on board. And of course, the chairman of SEMA, the energetic deputy governor, is also here with us. We'll render support and succor.
Reaction to this online, here's what social media users are currently saying. We'll start off with this user on X. Okay, on Instagram, this one wrote, I will handle economy, Shettima will handle security. I think this guy is trying to take us back to what the president did state a couple of months ago. Another user on Instagram wrote, nothing changes, always the same pattern, come and deliver a speech, make fake promises, and nothing changes at the end. Well, still reacting to this, Prince on X says, strong words, they are wild animals, but beyond this statement, Nigerians want to see results on the ground. These attacks have gone on for too long. It is not just about condemning them, it's about cutting off your movement, fund, and the local support completely. Well, still reacting to this story, Okon on X reacting. But yet, they are still forgiven and reintegrated into the society, right? Good question. Well, it's an ongoing one, and hopefully insecurity is put on hold right here in Nigeria. Away from that, let's go over to Morocco, where in a wave of excitement been swept across Morocco as thousands of jubilant fans flooded the streets to celebrate the country's newly awarded Africa Cup of Nations title. Now, from major cities to smaller towns, the atmosphere turned electric almost instantly after the announcement. Now, with people pouring out their homes in disbelief and joy, the celebrations quickly transformed into spontaneous street parties with the music, drumming, and cheering echoing throughout the night. Tell you what, this is coming up on the heels of African football governing body, CAF, that has stripped Senegal of the Africa Cup of Nations AFCON title they won in a chaotic final 2 months ago and declared Morocco the champions. Let's listen to CAF's president to get his feel on this conversation.
Bodies as fair, with integrity and impartiality, and what is equally important, that they regard our referees, our VAR operators, and our match commissioners as people who are fair and just, and those decisions that are taken reflects the impartiality and independence.
Well, should I say congratulations at this point? I don't know, but how did you take this in line? Let's see what netizens are currently saying. This user wrote, CAF's decision to strip Senegal of the AFCON trophy is unfair and unjust. Years of hard work, talent, and passion can't be erased by a ruling. True sportsmanship demands respect for players' efforts and not controversial bureaucratic decisions. Now, another user online, Ade Yimika, wrote, CAF can give Morocco another trophy, but Africans already know who the real winner is. Well, reacting to this one on X, this user says, this was a terrible decision for sports in general. Senegal should have been fined or penalized in some other way. Reversing the actual match result on the field is a disaster for CAF. Now, this will have long-term ramifications for CAF. Very poor decision. Well, on that note, we wrap up TMI Socials today. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. I am Nwoluwakpo Stevens. And from all of us on This Morning on ITV, happy holiday. We'll see you next week.